The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more into the breach do we go, dear friends, and man, can you stand the action. Yep. After Friday, the discussion was just how high were we going to go? Well, no follow through. It doesn't mean we aren't going to maybe tip up a little bit higher, but I sent out an update to my subscribers today on the daily newsletter. We went through the earnings cycle, and it's this is not the strong part of the batting order, if you wanted to put it in baseball terms. Over the next 2 weeks, a great deal of retail stores are going to come out, and of course, the expectations are incredibly low. My guess is that they will meet them. The incredibly low ones, but I don't think that there's going to be too much blowing away people, other than occasionally spending lots of cash on new iPhones. The buying public has gotten somewhat fickle, and we'll continue on for that. As we go along out here, what else? Well, we're off 2.5 points on the S&P cash volume. Is a little less than it was on Friday at this time. We came in with 2.2 billion shares on the New York Consolidated Tape. We've got 2 billion shares now. We went up to 2185. This whole area right here is a level of resistance. The question is, at what point do you know that something's overpriced? Well, say Beanie Babies. You know that was not going to last. But at what point do you exit stage left? The game of just the bigger fool theory, that is, driving stocks up higher than you probably would want to hold them. We've got a PE that runs right around 25 now. That's a price to earnings ratio. Normally, you want to buy it somewhere around 11 and 12 if you're a long-term investor, and get out historically somewhere around 18 to 19. We're at 25. And of course, this is a byproduct of huge amounts of cash sloshing around in zero interest rates. If there was a cost to this, we would probably be back in somewhere in the 18 to 11 range on earnings per share. Well, as a very famous Department of Defense cabinet member said, you go to war with the army you have. And we have to trade. Don't have to trade. We do trade in the markets that are given us. The question that I continue to ask and started to ask on Friday is, at what point do you go from chasing dollars in front of a steamroller and you trip and die to changing to actually standing in front of a steamroller to try to pick up quarters and dimes and then pennies and nickels? Right here, the risk reward, in my opinion, is horrifically bad to the upside. It also probably isn't all that great. At least I have no signal to the downside. Sometimes no position is a position in itself. And you have to be willing to walk away from the poker table when you know your odds are not good. As always, we like to come to you at this time. Oh, we do. We do. But for some reason, something is not working here. Well, I'll fix it during the break. Why is that? Hang on a second. This is going to bother me if I don't fix it. Why did that go to that? Here. Not exactly sure. It's been doing this occasionally. But we'd like to come to you at this time And of course, every show needs to start off with just a little bit of history.
Then it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
It is history repeating. Not hearing those clips, huh? Still not hearing them. I don't know what happened today. Anyway, what else do we have going on? Well, we'll get to history. In 1863, I think very much about a lot of people thinking of the problems we have as a country. We've had much worse. We've had 2 world wars and, of course, a civil war, which couldn't be more named wrong. Didn't seem very civil to me. A lot of blood and guts. In the aftermath on this day of 1863 of the Gettysburg battle, Robert E. Lee sends a letter of resignation to the Army of Northern Virginia to the Confederate President Jefferson Davis. Jefferson Davis writes back to ask me to substitute you by someone more fit to command or who could possess more confidence in the Army is to demand an impossibility. Well, they were going to lose anyway, but they soldiered on. But when we think of truly divided countries, fighting over who's going to be the next president seems rather droll compared to actually firing muskets at each other. And I think these days we can take a little solace that for the most part, it is civil and not like a Civil War civil, truly civil. Maybe the worst we have is a few people out there devising some signs. And, of course, they get what they deserve. It's a raid. I always remember those movies about the rum running and the speakeasies. The cops would come in, and it's always a raid. Well, guess who's being raided today? It's Amazon in Japan. They came in, went in, and ran through and grabbed a bunch of their documents today. As I said, probably the company that has the biggest target on its back right now is Amazon for anti-trade and antitrust issues. But as people, especially countries, run out of other people's money, they will go to the easy ones to get some cash out of, whether it's Europe or now Japan. It looks like it's open season on anybody making a buck. As, who was it? The Iron Fist of England said. Was it, what's her name? I'm trying to remember. 1980. She says, eventually, the problem with socialism is you run out of other people's money. And that's what it is. Yeah, Mrs. Thatcher. The Iron Lady, that's what they called her. Yeah, that's what we need. We need iron ladies around the country. It's bedtime for bonzos. The shares of Tempur Sealy are basically doubled. Are up on volume after Mattress Firm gives a takeover offer. And one of the good lessons, don't be short a stock that has 30% short interest. You will find out that you have little or nothing left soon. We'll be back after this break.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
A little bit of discussion out here in the infotainment cable stations about being short. And I think the biggest thing is you just have to know when you're looking at these things that unless you have a company headed for bankruptcy that can't be bought out, you've got to know it fairly intimately before you start shorting a company that has 30% short interest. There's a handful of companies that everybody knows are going bankrupt. And guess what? If you buy up all the shares of a company and then buy it out and run up the price about half the time, you can kind of get the company for free. And to a great extent, that's kind of what is going on in this mattress firm deal today. And that is, no matter how bad a deal is, if you can make somebody else pay for it, is the stock worth double? No. But if they can hold it up until they buy it out, they can force a lot of people to pay for the company that they want to buy. And it's probably going to be a pretty good deal. I just wonder how many options were bought on the run up to this, because, of course, all they have to do is announce a buyout at a higher price. And 1/4 of the shares, or even 1/3 of the shares, are going to come back to them at the higher price, giving them a huge discount on the price that they're bidding this thing up on. So sometimes you see these astronomical prices out there for buyouts. Sometimes they are only justified on the back of too many people being short the exact same stock. What else do we have? It is a mad world out there. And we're going to start looking at some stocks. You can give me a call at 877-927-6648. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. And, of course, you can put a message in the den. A lot of talk in the den today about the IBB. Let's take a look at that one first. You know, this really needed to have about 4.4 million shares as it broke 290. So we've been watching it kind of closely. This had been kind of one of the weakest sectors out here. And you never really got that 4.4 million share. You've had some light volume pullbacks, again, light volume today, but you really need to see some kind of sign of strength. It kind of had some volume coming close to that April 22nd high, but you never really got it. And a lot of buyouts kind of dragged this thing a little bit higher. I think we're getting back to a little bit more of reality in the IBB. I don't know that it's going to fail, but certainly I would have had to ring the register on this one when it went higher. You had 3 days and you weren't able to break the highs with any kind of volume or a sign of strength. That would be big volume in case of this. I'm thinking that you probably need to see 5-6 million share a day out here to confirm a breakout above this 290 level, and we never got it. ADAP, some of these stocks are just ones that are moving today. I don't know if there's any particular signal. I wanted to go through them fairly quickly. You are having a little bit of pickup in ADAP to the downside today. Fairly big move out here. Alary, which has been one of these stocks that's been all over the place on news, up a little, unable to really hold it a bit. That may tell you a little bit more about these buyouts in the biotech and pharma sector. In fact, I had somebody ask a question on Friday I didn't have time to get to before the end of the show, and that is, what is the real difference between pharma and biotech? And there's an easy answer to it. Pharma is chemistry. Biotech is proteins. It's all about moving around or changing or developing different compounds that will change the way the proteins in your human body, or I guess in a dog's body or a cow, because some of these things do find their way into livestock and our pets move. Atera Biotherapeutics, ATRA, getting a loser horn today, down on some decent volume. But certainly a wide candle, not the kind of volume you think would blow out. Support is probably going to come in around 21 bucks on this one. Of course, the one that I've been watching very closely and wondered about is after the huge volume we had on Friday from Bristol Myers Squibb, would that find a selling climax on Friday? It has not. Still have huge volume. It did try to open up a little higher and move lower today. So the destruction in this one continues to move on and puts a millstone around many of the pharma stocks. CHEK, pretty light volume stock. Wanted to see how Delta Airlines doesn't seem to really being affected much, that every one of their planes on the ground, at least not in pieces today. But certainly their computer breakdown hasn't done anybody very good. The ramifications may go through the rest of the week before they get everything sorted out. I was looking at some articles, didn't have time to read them, about the cause of all their computer problems. But again, I'm wondering if I can even believe them anymore. How many of these things do we find out a year or two later, or some kind of giant hacks that blew everything up, and they just plain lied at the government and at companies of why they happened? But I don't know. I'll read and see. Dean's Food, very interesting movements in these food companies today over the last few days. And the news hasn't been that good. This one spiked down to 17.19 today. But very interesting moves. ADM also kind of came down last week. Not a lot of volume in these stocks higher. This is just coming back into its gap down on ADM. But a few companies out here in the food business with some bad news, watching how they react to it. EPZM, down on pretty heavy volume today. Energy is about the same on the way up, on the way down, but it hasn't tested its May 12th low. Look for that in the next day or two. HTBX, Heat Biologics. This is kind of a penny stock out here. But on a day where the market's not moving very far, we have to look a little harder out here to find some of these. Imperva, a lot of news on this one today. Not as much action as you would think from the discussion pre-market. But you know, this thing gapped up on some decent volume of 2.6 million shares on the 11th of August, or no, 11th of July. And, you know, you had some big volume yesterday, pretty much, I mean, on Friday, pretty much spiked through it on the same volume it popped up on, down on a lighter volume today. We'll go through a few more of these, and then we'll go through some of the stocks that I've been looking at in the newsletter today. But we'll keep an eye out here and see what's happening. Oh, we're off 5 points now. Market action is getting hot and heavy. We'll be back after this.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
We're back. Yeah, we are back. Anyway, watching this market out here, someone brought up Tidewater. I had this chart in my newsletter. If I was expecting higher prices in the S&P, I would have played it. But this may have been the absolute best looking stock in the market out here. This is exactly the pattern I look for in markets that are going higher. I was indeterminate as to that, and since about 50% of every trade is, for the most part on average, to do with the broader direction of the market, I didn't play it. But this is exactly what you are looking for. If you're looking for a stock that is a Wyckoff standard pattern, this is it. You had a slam down with lots of volume. This is the May 26th low at $3.79, 15 million shares. You go up, and if you look at Power Law Vector Indicator number, it's about 5.7 on the way up. It's 3.4 on the way down. You come back, you actually bust the low by 2 cents. You do it by 1.7 million shares compared to 15 million shares. And if you're just in it for a quick move, not too bad. Of course, I'm not a raging bull here, so I didn't buy it. But if you're looking for patterns in a market, if this would have been the day of a couple of days after the British exit, I would have been all over a pattern like this. At the highs, you know, they're a little less muted, but I couldn't find anything better than this pattern, and it said so in the newsletter last week. But I will bypass a great deal of stocks to wait for the appropriate time. But not a bad deal. Of course, it doesn't hurt to see West Texas up 3% in a day to help you out. I think this is also coming into earnings, and that was problematic to get into it. Yeah, earnings tomorrow. So maybe just a few people out here short that are getting squeezed out pre-earnings. What else do we have? Was there anything else out there? I wanted to look at rig. Little pop out here, no volume in this one. But if we are seeing some kind of move, which I don't think we are, I think crude's going up to about 45 bucks maybe, and then back down to 38. And I think we need one more test at the low. Another story about everybody in the Mideast getting together for a big hug and hoping that prices go higher. Probably not. Don't think so. Vertex Pharmaceuticals, and this one actually starting to do exactly what I want a stock to do, to find a low, and that's just go sideways for a great deal of time. A lot of news today on them maybe selling out a part of the company, but I don't know how far that's actually going. Let's look at some of the stocks that are coming up, especially, as we said, a lot of these retail stocks are coming out with earnings in the near future. Dislike that we haven't had a sign of strength on American Eagle Outfitters. The March 21st high had 7.1 million shares. So we're really looking for something that has that kind of volume. You had one day, but it didn't really go that far. That was on the 2nd of August. And, you know, you had a lot of volume, didn't have a lot of price. You haven't had that sign of strength yet or any continuation days, and that's what really bothers me here. You got maybe 1 or 2 more days for us to see a continuation day in the broad indexes. And what you probably would have liked to seen today, if you thought we were going a lot higher, was continuation from Friday's move with a lot of volume. Just kind of a sideways day so far. But we, of course, have gone higher on lighter volume so far, if you wanted to read the charts that way. Anyway, we're going into earnings season for a lot of these retailers, and that continues to show some issues. Also, the biggest thing in AEO is this August 18th to 2015 high that had 8.3 million shares, and we're into it with half the volume. That's got to tell you something. Yeah, bid. Yeah, didn't they have earnings out today? Thought they had somebody in the den saying, look at Sotheby's. Gave half of its bounce up. Lots of volume, 8 million shares, but given a couple of bucks, 2, 3, almost $4 back of its spike today. Lots of volume out here. Just I think a great, the biggest problem with being short is being early. And that would be it. Assured Guaranteed AGO is a symbol. Been watching this one. It was about the same as the June 2nd high. And that continues to be an issue. Energy on the way up is not all that exciting, though. I don't see a lot in that. AIG, of course, looking for this one to come back in the next couple of days to about 61 bucks, maybe $60.50. This one's got a double gap down that goes back to the first of the year. We're kind of in a lot of these stocks getting into that 6th and 4th of January downtrend that had a ton of volume, and for the most part getting into it with very light volume. What do we have? 3.2 million shares, and you had like 10 million shares on the 6th. On the 4th, we had 10 million shares. So a lot of the beginning of the year jitters are going to be coming up on those, and a lot of people just praying for the day that they can get their cash back. Ameren, nice big sign of strength over the last week or so. Little light volume out here. Again, you probably want to go back into about $2.60 on light volume to find a buy on that one. It's an energy company. BLK, which is BlackRock, another one up at its highs. Volume has been light. We had 675,000 shares on Friday, and you needed 830,000, 300 some odd thousand today. Energy was okay on the way up, but mixed. Wouldn't be pulling the trigger either long or short on that, but more of an issue of what's going on out here today. Bancorp South, one that has gapped up, did so on a little bit more volume, 600,000 shares on Friday, but you needed 1 million. What do you got today? 400,000 shares on the downside. Watching that one over the next couple of days, as few of these are trying to give us some kind of signal, if we will just take the time to listen. We're back to the biggest gap from the Cooper companies. This one came down on the, July 5th of 2015 with 1.3 million shares. We are filling that gap with about 500,000 shares over the last few days. But these have come all the way back up. Energy on this one has been fairly decent on the way up. Let's see what it looks like when we compare the two. About the same. So that's about it. We'll go through a few more of these stocks. It's what I'm watching over here as we watch this market kind of meander around and go sideways at 2178 on the S&P cash. Volume continues to be tepid. We'll be back.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you like it does me, visit everbank.com/TFNN to find out what they can do for you. Again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. Visit them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile based scanner in the industry. Powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
And we move along. We were looking at the Cooper companies, and, do I see a lot here in a nice trading range from about 120 to 183. These guys, there's a lot of stuff going on in these companies. Kind of hard to tell on that one. It's more of a conglomerate. What else do we have out here? FFIV. This one's been kind of a mover. Well, we've been watching this one as it makes its way back up. There's a little gap. This one's kind of close in this pattern, but volume has been poor over the last 7-8 days. You had a little bit of a juice on Friday in this thing, but it's continued up, going up really against the kind of the high volume of June 7th that had 3.4 million shares, trying to get back off over there. And if you go back to the right-hand side, it's the August 27th meltdown days where this thing had the 3 really hard down days, and then kind of got a little bit of pullback, and then all the way back down to $86 on this one. Energy is okay, way back up, but the last 4 or 5 days, you just don't like that super light volume, either long or short, because of course it's the old saying is don't short a quiet market. First Horizon, nothing in that. Finistar. Nice little move back up here above $19, but again, very light volume on a few of these. March 22nd, 2.4 million shares at $19. It's gone through that. Did so on Friday, but only with 1.3 million shares. Today, 470,000 shares. What you want to watch is, you got 2 more days. This thing needs to get some volume and a sign of strength. Most likely, if not, it's back into the trading range, and that would take you back down to the 1521, maybe even $15, back around that May 19th low. FRC, First Republic Bank. Some of these banks are starting to give some light volume highs over the last few days. May 31st, $73.22, 2.2 million shares. 700,000 shares on Friday. Today, 244,000 shares. So, well, I don't know what else you can say about it. Just very, very light volume. Well, I don't know if you can say anything more about that. Hospitality coming at you. Starwood Hotel and Resorts Worldwide. This one is probably in one of the weaker sectors right now that I've been looking at of the market, and that is travel, resorts, all that kind of stuff. We've had some bounces in here. I'm not sure I'm trusting them. This one looks kind of weak. You gap down with 2.6 million shares on May 13th. Been coming back into that gap. Friday, 1.4 million shares. Today, we've got 1.5 million shares, but kind of pulling back a little. If you are looking to short, that's the pattern I'm looking at right now. I was hoping for Wednesday. I think maybe this market kind of rolls over by Wednesday if it is headed lower. I think just a lot of distribution that I've been watching over the last few days. And of course, not much going on right now, but a lot of shares trading hands. And the more we push higher, the lighter the volume gets. Makes me think that we are probably close to some kind of inflection point. We're going to have some kind of incredible energy come out of the earnings of the next 10 days to get and hold these highs. ProShares Ultra QQQ, not looking good. We've been looking up at these highs for about 2 million shares, back into them again with, what are we going to call this, 1.1 million shares. Volume a little less on the downside today, but certainly not the kind of energy. If you look at the Power Law Vector Indicator number, off about 15%, maybe 20% on the energy back up in this leg. And I don't know if you can say a great deal more about it than that. Other stocks out here in trouble could be Royal Caribbean. A lot of people making hay out of the, let's go back to Royal Caribbean. Come on, Royal Caribbean. Come on, Mr. Internet. Give us some. There we go. Yeah. I don't know what's going on here. There we go. Nice little, huge move down on earnings on this, what is that, about the 27th? And continues to be rather problematic. But we are back up into this gap. A lot of Zika talk. I think this is probably moving along well. But my guess is that a lot of people probably in the next 30 days make their plans for wintertime vacations. And maybe those wintertime vacations will probably not be in third world hellholes that are visited by cruise ships if the Zika thing continues to go on. But very light volume. You had a nice kind of sign of strength on the 4th, so I'm not going to debate that. But man, they're starting to look like maybe this is maybe peak cruising. But I would watch the next 30 days because, like I said, almost everybody makes their plans by the first week or two for their winter vacations. And whether that is headed to ports of call south with Mr. Zika, or maybe people staying a little bit closer to home, or maybe even with the exchange rates trying to find a European holiday or something else. Yeah. Bugs, send the bears in. Send in the clowns. But interesting. SWHC, which is Smith & Wesson, hasn't been, it's been a while since the Thanksgiving kind of bearish tone out there. You had one of the things I've kind of disliked thinking maybe we're probably close to a high in these gun stocks has been the spike on January 5th that had 14 million shares. Never got it. Went right back into the trading range. Again, a lot of pushes on terrorism fears. But again, fairly light volume over the last, on August 1st. It's been kind of going sideways out here. Got a nice gap between about 22 and 23. At some point, I know that the president's been doing his job to make sure people buy as many guns as possible. but the chart's kind of saying maybe this is getting close to a top. Maybe it's peak gun finally. But anyway, looking at this kind of light volume. Don't know. But don't like the fact that this thing has never really busted that January 5th high with 14 million shares and lighter volume now at the peaks. Be back after this.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we're back. Trimble Navigation, been watching this one. Came down on some very big volumes, come back up here. It's now against its high. Had some volume on earnings on Friday, 1.55 million shares, but can't really break that high. And, you know, you just needed 1.1 million shares. You got the volume, a little bit of a doji today. You did come down on pretty heavy volume the last couple of days. This is a big GPS stock, which is, you know, it's interesting that you got some juice, or at least some juice on the way back up, but nothing compared to the volume down of the 24th and 27th of June. And, you know, probably too much volume up here to short. But keep an eye on that. I can't say that I would get that for an ABC up, but it is tough. Vail, another one of these stocks up here, this time testing previous highs on very light volume, whether you want to look at the April 21st with 74 million shares or the April 29th high with 50 million shares. Last couple of days as we've gotten into those candles, 28 million shares on Friday, today about 17 million shares. Now you busted one of the highs, but not the $6.26 high from April 21st. Energy on this one has come off about 25% on the way back up from the June 1st low. So it hasn't been one. If you just look at the candles, you can kind of see that ski slope down. It is a blue ski slope. It's not diamond blacks, but it has taken a long time to see all the volume kind of come out here on the right-hand side of the chart. Weight Watchers. We talked about Tide Water as being one of the better looking charts out here. And of course, I'm a big fan of the Wyckoff pattern, which is a big sign of strength. You go up to a high, it takes some time to come back and fill all that gap. You want to do it on a lighter volume. This is one of the bigger patterns. The problem is when you come down with a lot of volume into the previous gap that you filled, you want to do it on very light volume. This one's kind of picked up over the last few days. But you're probably somewhere around support. My guess is that we want to watch this thing base out, maybe September and October. These things have a big tendency to run around Christmas. Oprah is still in it. I don't know what her weight will be, but if you watch her, I guess probably you can see how well Weight Watchers is going to do. That whole move up there to that hot was one of these stocks that was short 40% when she dived into this thing. A lot of people thought it was a possible bankruptcy. With her pushing it, probably still okay. And actually, the chart looks not so bad out here. The problem is you do come down with heavier energy on this last move. That means some consolidation. You're not just going to get some kind of V move off the bottom. It's like I said, this one is a great one for finding people really wanting to buy it going into that late part of the year. Probably why they time this thing to take off at that point. The question is just what it is in the next month or two. But, you know, you've got a nice range out here from $10 to $28. You got some high volume up there at 28.05 from that November 19th high. If you're looking for a long, they need to wait on this one for a little while. But, interesting chart pattern. In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to. Hang on for Tom O'Brien for the next 2 hours. And we'll see you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
You're watching Tiger TV.